Hello, everybody, and welcome to yet another episode after a bit of a hiatus of Put That On My List, the show where the guest comes in with the questions and the movie, and I answer them. For our final episode today, it's another me and Spencer, just the two of us.
Just the two of us.
And we're going to sing that song only until we don't get copyrighted. And you've brought a film in.
I did. I have requested you to watch Enter the Dragon with Bruce Lee.
Yep. And I entered and I exited and I had quite a fun time.
Nice.
While I was inside.
The dragon?
Yeah, like in its belly.
Yeah.
Like not in a different way.
Yeah.
Yes. No, I had quite a fun time with Enter the Dragon. And I figured, as always we do, if we're going to do any sobbing about the fact that this will be the final episode this semester and maybe the final episode with you, we'll do that at the end of the episode. For right now, we're going to act as if nothing is amiss, nothing is different.
It's fine.
How about you ask me your first question?
All right. Well, we already said we liked it. So the first question is, what did you like about it? Because I know when I'm watching older movies, I feel like maybe it's subconsciously, but I'm definitely noticing how they're different. So I guess if you're picking up what I'm putting down, were there any qualities that you don't see in movies nowadays that you saw in this that you liked?
There are a ton of qualities. I'm going to start first with the obvious, which is the visual quality. And I don't just mean it's grainy 1970s film of a Hong Kong studio. Because that's not what I mean. What I mean is the way the camera is placed, oftentimes more distanced from the subject. Though there are some very new techniques that are used, particularly in the fight scenes with the first-person choreography.
That was crazy.
That is very fresh.
Yeah.
Especially for its time. That was not something you were seeing very often. But in the way that scenes are staged, usually with a strong focus on single shots, maybe every now and then you'll go to one of those reverse shot type deals where two characters are sitting in a room.
Yeah.
But this is a kung fu movie, so there's a lot of not sitting around.
Yes.
So it really struck me visually as a Bond film and plot-wise. This is very much a kung fu Bond film.
Yeah.
Everything from the bad guy to the island to the
way
the women dressed. Yeah, he had a cat, which we thought, for instance, was going to get its head chopped off. I really was hoping not, because I like cats.
I was scared. I was definitely scared when I was watching that. I was like, no, don't do that to the cat.
I don't usually ask questions on this podcast, but do you like cats?
I prefer dogs. I have to go on the record and say I prefer dogs. However,
do we act as if it's binary, like it has to be one or the other?
Well, I was going to say, the third thing I usually say to answer the question is, but I much prefer neither.
Okay.
I would rather not have a pet and not have to deal with what pets bring, shedding, urinating, defecating, all that. I'll leave the urinating, defecating, and shedding to myself.
We have two cats. You share my father's opinion.
Right.
Yeah. So, there was a lot about the way it was filmed, particularly, and this is hard to pinpoint exactly what goes into it. It's a lot of minute details, but it's very documentary style and in lots of the stuff, especially in the stuff filmed in public places, the stuff that's obviously not sets. There's a very homespun nature to it.
Yeah.
It's the type of thing that is pretty much gone in big budget films, because big budget, it doesn't have the realism of a setting in which the camera person, you can tell they're improvising with the shots and they're being like, oh, this is an interesting thing I just saw in the natural location that I'm in with the people who are actually living there. Let me take advantage of this moment. And it's moment-to-moment filmmaking that I feel like in my personal projects I do all the time. I love semi-documentary.
Yeah.
Like, it's fictional, but you still have these moments where the camera is just free.
Yeah.
And you're looking over something. And that particularly at the beginning of the film is noticeable. They get to the island and then it's more focused because it's a set.
Yeah.
But at the beginning, that was something. It was very
Like when they're on the boats. I remember thinking that
That's-
was really cool.
that's what I'm. Yeah,
It was
exactly.
just I was like, these are definitely not extras. These are people, and I was super happy. That made me super like excited to see. And then I feel like the shots, especially when you're watching action movies, nowadays it's jump cuts everywhere. But this, I liked how long and drawn out some of the shots were, especially the close-ups. Like, I feel like that's kind of what I was hinting at with the question. I was like, I feel like you don't see that nowadays. A long, like, a drawn out shot of just like a person reacting and like listening to stuff. It's always like, especially when you get to the action sequences and it's like one punch, jump cut, second punch, jump cut.
Yeah, and I find that when I'm making a film too, I think all about how this is the preferred way I like to view a film. Is I like to view a patient film.
Yeah.
But when I'm in charge of a camera and I have to get coverage for a scene, my immediate thought is, how many angles of the same action do I need? As if everything I just said about what I prefer and the things I'd like to make don't matter all of a sudden, because now I have to conform to the modern standard of film
Yeah.
everything from every angle, so that
Boo.
you'll have a Netflix homepage amount of shots to be picking from while you're editing, as if you didn't make it with the edit in mind. And older films, a lot of the time, they made it with an edit in mind
Good. Yeah.
because they had film, and film was expensive, so don't waste it on needless coverage of the same thing.
Yeah.
So that's why you have patient slow shots. It was
Yes.
once a limitation, but it became an art form, and then we lost the limitation, and so with digital, so we've lost that part of it.
Yeah. It's very kung fu-esque. You have to be patient and you have to wait for the right opportunity.
Yes,
But people have
exactly.
lost that with this generation.
Well, maybe they have, or maybe they haven't. I mean, who knows? Maybe some young directors will come along, bring some new life into the stagnation.
I hope so. I just got to
Yeah.
think of a good idea to direct first. Hopefully, you're talking about me and not some other guy out in Hollywood who went to an actual like film school.
Nope,
I hope not.
nope. I think we've got talent coming from everywhere.
We do.
But I think the young definitely have a love for older films, particularly. I think it's always a comment from like our generation saying like, man, older films are so much better. I mean, I loved the Avengers when that came out and I was a kid, but I'm watching all these like new Marvel movies and I'm just not getting the same passion.
Watch Thunderbolts. You'll get something equivalent to that. It's kind
Okay.
of like the
I've heard so many different things on that.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to think about it. I needed a real person's opinion.
the excitement I got from Thunderbolts is not comparable to the excitement I got from watching the first Avengers. However, it's kind of like how the Thunderbolts are they're like the fill-in Avengers, the replacement Avengers. It's kind of like that was a fill-in excitement I got when I watched it. I was like, oh, this is cool. I wish I was 12 years younger and watching the Avengers, the first one, but this is cool being 21.
Reliving
Yeah.
something. Yeah, but this is something about older films I don't think you have to worry so much about. I feel like older films, they can be enjoyed by younger audiences. I'm sure a lot of kids grew up with this movie, Enter the Dragon,
Yeah.
not the Avengers, and thought it was awesome. But these films, I feel like you can be old and you can enjoy them.
Yeah.
Like as we are getting older, there's sort of this demand that you have to stay young and stupid in your brain in order to enjoy modern action films.
Yeah.
Like, oh, just shut your brain off. And it was like, well, in Enter the Dragon, you don't have to shut your brain off. Your brain can be on and you're still enjoying it.
Yeah. You pay attention.
And that is all to talk about sort of the aged aspects, which
Yeah.
I don't think aged at all. And I think the outfits and the music is pretty fly.
Yeah. It is pretty fun. Well, then I want to talk about the next question. What did you think of the black guy in the movie? He was just like a real character. I thought that was super cool. It was kind of like I almost got like a blaxploitation kind of thing when his scenes would happen. I'm like, oh, he's cool. He's like sneaking around and he's not taking crap from anybody. You know,
Yeah.
the evil guy's like, why were you outside? And he's like, I wasn't outside. That wasn't me.
Yeah, no, he's just going out and he's sort of enjoying himself. And you're getting the sense too, because these are all like you get the beginning of the film and you're getting the flashbacks of each character's like backstory that brought them to this boat to go to this island.
Yeah.
Now everybody's obviously really good at martial arts. That's why they're going to this place. That's why they were invited. But you do get a sense for like what drew them, and he's like, you get a sense that he's come from a hard life. He's got, you know, sort of the black sort of urban like martial arts movement that was
Yeah.
coming out at the time,
Yeah.
and like, you know, his dojo, and he's, you know, you don't know who any of these people are, but you can come up with it in your head like what he's coming from, and then he has to beat up those cops. So
Yeah.
so you get, and then you learn he was a Vietnam vet, and that just adds a whole nother layer to it. Like, this guy's been in some real combat. And it kind of paints a picture as to why he just kind of doesn't care about the authorities or anything
Yeah.
like that. He's just like, you know what? I've seen everything at this point.
Yeah.
I'm just, you know what? I'm going to go and I'm going to enjoy whatever this Chinese Epstein Island has to
Yeah.
offer me.
I thought he was just such a real character. Like, I was like, I almost thought he was definitely more of a real character than the white guy. And then I feel like he was on par with, maybe even a bit more fleshed out than Bruce Lee's character. Because I feel like Bruce Lee's character was just like, the bad guy used to be a Shaolin monk with us. I got to go stop him. And I
Yeah.
think, and it wasn't even the British guy that I completely forgot about until just thinking about it. The British guy really was like, hey, I'm the white guy. You are not. Go stop the other evil Asian guy. Meanwhile, the black guy was like, I'm just going to do my own thing. I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think about it. Not every person's coming to this island to be cracking down on the criminal aspects of it, because probably, well, I mean, a lot of them indulge in it. And that was something that was very interesting, is that you have the people who care,
Yeah.
and then you have most of them who don't. They know what they're getting into with this place. It's all, you know, exclusive, extravagant, but you understand that comes with as the villain is talking about, it's like a natural corruption.
Yeah.
And he's like, we're dealing in corruption here. And I thought that was really interesting. But I think you're right in that Bruce Lee had a weaker character, and I think the white guy, I hate that I don't know his name, but he is the dad from Nightmare on Elm Street,
Yes.
if you've seen that. I immediately recognized him, but I didn't immediately remember what he was from. And I was like, oh yeah, that movie.
Well, I know him from Dead Meat. I know it's John Saxon, and I know James A. Denise will be like, and he also was this and this, and I'm like, it's all those hours of YouTube
Yeah.
that lets me recognize these people.
Yeah. And no, it definitely seemed like they put him on more of the traditional arc, because he's a gambler. He is
Relatable.
Yeah. He is on the lam pretty much all the time. He gets in trouble everywhere he goes. And you understand that there's a camaraderie between him and the black guy. But then his name is William, so I do remember him.
Okay.
His name. But you also get the sense that he's like, when he's faced with like sort of being trapped in this place that he thought was like going to be like another getaway for him.
Yeah.
That's when he has to kind of come to terms with the responsibilities he has.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it is Bruce Lee who is, you know, conspiring to ruin this whole operation.
Yeah.
And then have this awesome mirror fight scene. But that's to say, this is a movie that deals with multiple protagonists. So thus, you have the seeds of character in different areas, and it seems like certain characters who probably don't need the attention as much get it.
Yeah.
That is to say, I think it's a bit of a messy screenplay, but it's still an enjoyable film nonetheless.
Great movie.
But yeah, if that's sort of what you're leaning at about who gets what.
Yeah. I think so. I think that's what I was leaning towards. Let's see. Another question that I have.
I see you have no paper with your written questions.
I've never done that in all the episodes we've done. I've never had paper. I've kind of stored them in my memory banks. I'm fetching it right now. Another question that I have.
Windows loading.
Yep.
Dial-up internet sounds.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Okay. I wanted to see more of I believe her name was Mei Ling.
Yes.
Not his sister, the girl on the island. His sister. I love his sister's story. I didn't even care that it was like a flashback for a flashback. I was like, okay, yeah, that's badass. I really didn't want her to die. And she might have died, but
No, she died.
yeah. Well, didn't want spoilers.
But we've always spoiled in this episode.
For a 50-plus-year-old movie, yes. But they're like, and there's a correspondent on the island, and it's Mei Ling, and she's your ticket. And he gets there, and the white lady's like, which Asian girl do you want? And he's like, do you have Mei Ling? And she's like, yes, here you go. And then Mei Ling is just like, yep, I'm Mei Ling. And then Bruce Lee just knows what to do. I'm like, where's the espionage? Where's the Bond aspect of it?
But the deal is, at the end of the day, it is a kung fu movie, so it isn't as much about like gadgets and infiltration. He does do some stuff with like the snake to get into the into the radio room, which I thought was
hilarious.
Cool. And you got like with him waiting for the guys to run out, like him just like kind of like sitting there, like you get a little bit of that signature humor.
Cool.
But yeah, I think you're right. I was expecting more there. But that's, I think, the conclusion we might be coming to is that you can still make a great film out of a messier screenplay.
Yeah.
And if you're looking at a lot of old films, particularly 70s films and particularly foreign films, there weren't as many regulations from the studios saying, like, this is what a screenplay must look like. They were kind of like, well, let's do this and let's do this. And this is going to happen like this.
Yeah.
And let's just film it.
Yeah.
If you look at really the Hong Kong and Chinese film industry at the time and coming out of that and like all the kung fu movies and the stunt movies, the reason is they're so awesome is because most of what they did would be illegal to do anywhere else in the world. So, jumping out of moving vehicles and almost getting your head crushed only to dodge out of the way out of the last minute. I mean, that's not something you're going to do. And they'd do some compositing in the U.S. market, and they would just film it in real life in China. That's all to say that this movie is sort of a product of what it was made in and a different attitude toward filmmaking as compared to what Hollywood was doing. Despite Warner Bros. Distributing it, it was still a Hong Kong film.
Yeah. I guess I just want a spy movie. I mean, you make great points, and I was thinking about it, and I'm like, man, maybe I should watch some like James Bond. Hey, next week, James Bond.
Oh yeah. Which one?
Whatever the first one is.
Dr. No.
I was gonna say Dr. No.
But I've seen it.
Darn it. Okay, well.
I guess you'll just have to pick one of the bad ones.
No.
What about Octopussy?
It's not funny, dude.
It's the name of the movie, all right?
Just a word.
I'm just
just a word. That's not.
Okay. Do you have another question?
No. I won't yank your chain. I don't really have another question. We can talk about the movie.
Okay. You don't need to ask me a question, but because of the nature of the show, tell me a subject matter that we haven't yet discussed. We've discussed the writing. We've discussed some of the filmmaking techniques.
Yep.
What have we not discussed?
The music. Oh, I love the music.
I do like the music a lot.
It was so funky.
Yes, and everybody kind of had like a different theme.
Yeah.
Particularly Williams had his disco thing going on, very funky.
Yeah.
But you're right about like sort of the blaxploitation aspects of his side of the story.
Yeah.
But I think that just comes out of any film from that time that was on a low budget. It had a grit and a realism to it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's a cheese. It's both cheesy and unrealistic, but it's also grittier than anything that's gonna be made today because there's so much less rules. And there's something freeing about it. So I like that a lot.
No rules. I miss no rules. We're coming into a world full of rules, and it's up to us to break them responsibly. Maybe we won't put people in front of moving cars, jumping out of moving cars, but maybe we'll get grittier. Maybe we'll hit the gritty.
Well, I personally think with the internet age and like kind of cruder, smaller digital cameras, there could be sort of more this push to depolish films. Because I think a lot of films are done well today. But I know I watch particularly a lot of like cable television shows where they have this they all seem to be filmed by the same person because they're all very bright and incredibly clear, and every aspect of the camera operation was done perfectly, and the lighting and the environment was made in such a flat, bright way as to not have anything possibly be grainy or out of the light. No drama, you know?
No drama.
And I think there's this aspect of we can sometimes get a little too bogged down in trying to prepare a set or to think something in terms of like, how can I make this perfect? And it's like, what if you put the camera in the place first and you're like, okay, what kind of images can I get out of this? There's sort of this idea that you get out of independent filmmaking, and no budget filmmaking, which we're both more experienced with than having millions of dollars at our disposal. Of you find a location and you think, and it naturally inspires you to come up with interesting shot concepts. And like you look at like this particular crop of trees where the sun comes through in a really nice way, and you're like, I can really frame that up and make that into a nice shot. You didn't think,
and then I walked through it,
and then this scene of my screenplay, Walking
2.
Check it out on the channel. That's up.
Channel.
That is up on the channel, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Check out Walking 2.
Walking 2.
Something I think is that comes a lot out of you write a screenplay and you come up with all these locations before you know even remotely where you're going to do it or how you're going to do it. You can oftentimes sort of set your director up to curate everything in a way that's going to make it all look the same.
Yeah.
That's not to say that a writer should take power away from the director to have control over the scene, but I think the natural instinct of today is to make everything look as good as possible, as perfect as possible, as no noise, crystal clear, perfect focus. Everything's in shallow focus for some reason. No deep focus shots. I love deep focus shots.
Deep focus.
We never discussed a Kubrick film, but like practically everything.
No time
for a Kubrick film. Yeah, but
we're students still. We have other responsibilities. We can't just watch movies.
No, of course not. It's not like that's the show. But if people kind of come at things, this is my sort of full opinion as to where this idea comes from.
Okay.
People come at making movies with, maybe a shot not as perfectly produced as possible, that they might notice every minute issue that came as a part of producing that final product.
Yeah.
And I know because I've made no movie I've ever made was made exactly how I wanted it to be made. And that'll probably continue to be the case.
Same here.
If you have enough time, this is the thing that George Lucas did with the original trilogy, particularly the first Star Wars film. If you have all the money in the world to perfect the mistakes that naturally arise as of making a film, you're going to lose something.
Yeah.
Because I think the bad shots of Star Wars are still great. And when people saw that movie in 1977, were they saying, oh, I could tell that just looks so bad.
We need to add a big fat blue alien.
Oh, we need a big alien elephant to walk by the scene and cover up all the actors.
Yeah, we really need that. I was really shooting this movie and I thought, where are the big fat blue aliens? But we couldn't do it yet.
Yeah, it's like poetry. It rhymes.
Yeah. Star Wars, Bar Wars, Star Wars.
Okay. I do love George Lucas. I don't want to rag on him too much, but he's not a perfect man.
He made Star Wars.
He made Star Wars.
Until I make something,
I will never talk bad. I'll just make fun of him in a teasing way.
Yes, until I make something better than Star Wars, I can't talk bad about Star Wars. That's always been my philosophy.
But we're not talking about Star Wars. We got so many tangents.
We're talking about Bruce Lee.
Yes, we're talking about Bruce Lee. There's just something I don't remember exactly. I think this came out just a little bit before he passed.
Yeah, this was his last movie that he made before dying.
Yeah,
on another movie set.
And it was just like a sudden thing too.
Yeah,
like they don't even people. I think some say that he was poisoned. because
know.
it's just. I mean, that always comes up with somebody who's taken, just way too early, especially like.
John Lennon,
Well, I mean, we know what happened with John Lennon.
bullet poisoning.
Bullet. Okay, lead poisoning.
Lead poisoning.
Very
Lead poisoning in
fast
his
lead
stomach.
poisoning. I think it says something. I mentioned this to you before we filmed it, but we're in
Okay.
front of the cameras now, so I need to mention it again.
Yeah.
Before I saw this film, a couple of weeks ago, I saw the film Dragon, which is Bruce Lee's biopic
Mhm.
about him coming to the United States as a young man, going to college, finding his wife, sort of seeing the stereotypes about Chinese people and Asians in American film media, and sort of like the racism that he was seeing,
Which
and
was
also
bad.
which was
Very
bad.
bad.
It
Which was
wasn't.
bad.
It wasn't good. By the way,
They were
we
not
don't think
portrayed very
racism
well.
is good,
We do not think racism is good. No.
but you got the sense of him really feeling like he wanted to change people's perceptions about Chinese culture, which I think he did. I mean, it didn't fix the whole problem overnight, but I think it says something even in his, early death, that like what he was able to achieve just with those few films, the legacy, like he's a legend.
Yeah.
Like people put him above like Jackie Chan, even though Jackie Chan's been around way longer and has made way more films. And I
Yeah.
love Jackie Chan too.
And he's arguably done like cooler stuff. Like maybe Bruce Lee could have hit that level if he stayed alive, but Jackie Chan has lapped Bruce Lee in terms of stunt
Yeah.
work.
But it's I think that just says something to you. Nothing about what you make has to be perfect because we're people, and I think there is a fakeness that comes with chasing the perfect shot, the perfect film. That people like stuff spattered with a little dirt, at least I do, to really feel like, although you might not know everything about how every shot was made, to understand that like the people who made it really were there and they were really
Yeah.
trying. It's
Yeah.
not made on a conveyor belt. It's homespun. I like that.
Yeah, me
That's
too.
why I love the 70s, because the 70s it was you put a bunch of 16 millimeter handheld film cameras in a bunch of young people's hands and they just started going crazy. That was the 70s. That was like the new Hollywood, but it was also the international
Yeah.
world when it was costing less to make these things, so more people were getting the chance to do it. And it just, you see with this film, you got the white guy, you got the black guy, you got the Asian guy, you got a trifecta here. And I just remember initially watching it and I was expecting this to be some kind of like, I don't know what I was expecting, but I just think kung fu film. I'm thinking like a period piece
Yeah.
in like China, some ancient time.
Yeah, when it started at the Shaolin Temple, I'm like, all right, so this is where it's going to be. It's going to be
Yeah.
the Shaolin Temple.
And then we go out and then we see, the modern city.
Yeah.
And we start meeting these other characters. Everyone's speaking English.
Yeah.
Which it like there was a lot of overdubbing, like it's a spaghetti western, but you can tell the lips are flapping as if people are speaking English. So it's
Yeah.
not like, they're speaking Italian and it's like overdubs.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know. I noticed the overdubbing ADR too. Like, it was egregious. I was like, they did not say that. They did not say that. They did not say that.
But that is a style. That is an old style. That is one that probably shouldn't come back.
Yeah.
But it was of the time where, especially with the spaghetti westerns and all the Italian actors who got dubbed over, you had movies where there were, I don't even think were boom operators. They just filmed it and they were like, now we get all the actors and they redub all their lines, and everything is done in post. I don't know if that's how they made this film, but that's probably a part of the aged filmmaking that doesn't need to come back, as the sound is not fantastic.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and there are definitely better sounding films that came out earlier than this movie.
True.
But it's just part of the charm at this point. Nobody expects the lips to flap right.
Yeah.
So, I don't I don't fault it too much, but let's just say like I can't look in the face of like a bunch of issues that like, you know, either they couldn't really do anything about or just like they were out of time and money, and I don't know. I don't know. What's your opinion on it? I've been yapping this whole
Yeah.
time. I understand it's my show, but
We're co-hosts. We're co-hosts.
we're co-hosts.
I think, yeah. Well, my philosophy always is the movies that are made belong in the time that they're made, you know? I think it would be a large disservice to look at a movie made in 1973 and be like, this is what we need in 2025, this exact movie. I feel like there's a reason genres exist and there's a reason time periods exist. I feel like an 80s movie could not be made in 2025. And I feel like this is the opposite side of the coin. 2025 movies, there's a place for 2025 movies. There's a place for your 3-hour long Oppenheimers just as much as there's a place to try to recapture the magic of Enter the Dragon. I feel as if. So I feel like there's a reason to, like, you want to bring what you like from the past into the future with the advancements of the future, with the advancements of the boom mic, with the advancements of clearer picture, but also, you know, we don't have to make it too clear, you know, we're trying to recapture old magic.
Well, I mean, I think that's why everybody and their mother is starting to find film grain filters and put it over their digital footage because they're like, I'm trying to get that grit.
Oh my
It
God,
doesn't look right, but
everybody
yeah,
loves those disposable
guilty.
cameras now. Everyone wants to bring those back.
Yeah.
I think they're cool. Really, I wish there was a way to I take nice pictures on my phone, print those out. I don't like the whole digital camera and you have to like ship it away and get it back and it might look bad. I like being able to see the photo in the moment and then get it, you know.
Yeah. I have a Minolta X700 35 millimeter picture camera. So like it's not disposable, but I do have to send it away. I don't use it all the time though.
Yeah.
It's mostly like, am I going on a trip? I'm basically going to be like, I'll take this picture and film, and then I'll take it again on my phone just in case it's bad. But regardless, we can kind of look at the way old films are made, try to recreate them as a fad.
Yeah.
I think what we're describing is there's a lot of fads that Gen Z goes after, trying to make things look older, more analog. Why everybody buys tube TVs and has to play old video game consoles and they have
Yeah.
to have it on physical. I'm one of those people who does that. I don't have a tube TV, but I'm looking for one for the N64. But it's important that we don't lose what we have access to
True.
in the name of trying to make something that we're never going to be able to make fully. When you try to fake a black and white movie by just desaturating iPhone footage, it's not going to look right.
Yeah.
So don't do it that way. That's all to say. I think you're right in a lot of
Great.
ways. I don't say ruin a good shot. If you've got a really crisp looking shot, take the shot. But I think what I'm referring to is less like the superficial aspects of 70s filmmaking and more like the idea of going out and not planning for everything. And
Yeah.
if something doesn't go to plan, don't immediately think, oh, well, now, like the studios are going to think, we have to immediately do reshoots, or I don't like the vision of this film. It's not going well with the test audiences, so we have to spend another $50 million to get all the actors back, reshoot everything on green screen, and it's going to be so obvious that it's not a part of the original film. This is the
Yeah.
time we live in where it's all about it's same with video games. You're releasing a broken product and you fix it in, the updates. You fix it in post.
Yep.
Everything's fix it in post, but not do it in the moment.
Yeah. Gotta do stuff. But man, I just yeah.
So I think we've been going on for probably longer than we think we have.
Yeah, I was gonna suggest that as well.
But I said we were going to save this to the end of the episode. And
Yeah.
like I said, I've been talking a lot, despite this perhaps being your last. I do hope to catch you again maybe next semester if you're still in the area for a guest appearance.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I was thinking I'll ask you a question this time.
Oh boy.
of all the episodes we've filmed, what do you think is the number one lesson you've taken away that you would like to leave our viewers with?
I think, and I may be butchering it somewhat, but it's my idea that you have to write. I think, like I said, everything's been done. So I think you write what you want to write and what you want to see, and that's really where the best things come from. I feel like if you spend all your time trying to create something new, trying to create something that no one's done, it's not going to be as good as just saying, all right, time travel movies have been done. What can I bring to the time travel movie that no one's seen? That's where the greatest things come from. Because if Star Wars was made and then someone was like, all right, well, we can't do space anymore. We can't do space anymore. Greatness would never have been achieved. So I think what I want to leave to the audience is if you have an idea, write it out. Don't worry about if it's already been done, because if it's good, people will not care. I remember we have to hit our quota about talking about English class. I read a story from our friend Ethan. He wrote about memory loss. Like, there was a procedure you can do to wipe your memory. And as soon as I read it, I was like, oh, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Yep. But I still ate it up. I still read it, and I read it again, and I was like, this is great. Because you write greatness. Greatness comes to you, you write it. Doesn't matter if it's been done already. So that's what I want to leave, is just do what you want to do. Let inspiration hit. Still waiting for inspiration to hit me, but that's okay.
Well, it's never when you expect it to be.
You're right. I've just been on guard for the past 4 years.
And I've never talked about it much. My big idea. I have a couple big ideas that are like ultimate someday projects.
Yep.
A screenplay I've been working on for my thesis, and sort of like the aspects about it that I feel like the lessons we learned from this film could carry over.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go into specifics because I'm not trying to get eyes on it too early before I've hit the end.
Yeah.
And printed it out. But I think the main thing we need is confidence in our ideas, but the adaptability to understand that a plan never goes completely to fruition, and that you need a strong improvising personality in the writing booth when you're typing out a scene and it turns in a direction you didn't expect it to go, but it's just so good you have to see it to its end. You didn't plan on it, but that's a great moment. Same thing when something happens in front of the camera that you didn't think was going to happen, but you got it at the right angle and you're like, I don't care how, that's going to end up in the movie. It's happened countless times, so many famous shots that people talk about that it's like, oh yeah, and that wasn't planned. Did you hear that wasn't planned? Oh, did you hear that line was improvised? So much of what we find to be, little bits of trivia we're passionate about come out of the ability to improvise as well as to have passionate about an idea. That's all to say that you need to be a well-rounded artist.
Yeah.
But you don't need to be an educated artist. You might have no idea the particular names of certain techniques, but if you've got the stuff, you've got the stuff.
Wait, I don't need to be educated? What did I spend the last 4 years doing if I don't need to be an educated artist?
It also helps.
Oh, it does. It does. Actually, I can't imagine where I'd be if I wasn't educated, because I'm learning the basics, and I'm like, oh, I did not know that. Like punctuation conventions when writing. When you put a question mark, you don't capitalize the next letter if it's not the end of the sentence. Yeah.
Yeah, that is actually that was a pretty crazy one. That one took me off guard.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah.
Shout out Tim.
Well, thank you, Spencer, for being my
course.
co-host on this idea.
This was a great idea.
I wish we could have done more episodes this half the semester, but things happen. Things don't always go to plan. But
we adapted.
Thank you for bringing Enter the Dragon to me. I know we barely talked about it, but it's the last episode of the semester, and you know what? I just wanted to talk one last time. So thank you for coming on to the show. I hope to see you again. And that was put that on my list. I now check Enter the Dragon off. And thank you guys so much for watching.
Thank you very much.